The studio lights blazed as Whoopi Goldberg prepared for what seemed like a routine celebrity interview on The View. Producers had been unusually secretive about the talking points, and whispers suggested this interview might get heated. Meghan Markle walked onto the set with composed elegance, her navy blue dress commanding attention, but her rigid shoulders betrayed underlying tension. As she took her seat across from the panel, Whoopi offered a warm greeting that seemed genuine on the surface. The interview began with softball questions about Meghan's projects and California life, maintaining a perfectly normal, almost boring tone as they discussed her podcast and charity work. Whoopi had something else on her mind, something that had bothered her for months about Meghan's public narrative. As someone unafraid to speak her mind about authenticity and privilege, Whoopi watched Meghan's story unfold with growing skepticism. The carefully crafted image, selective storytelling, and details that never quite added up rubbed her the wrong. Why, the turning point came when discussing Meghan's relationship with British media and claims of unfair treatment compared to other royals. Meghan recounted familiar talking points about unfair coverage with practiced precision, hitting emotional beats from previous interviews. Whoopi listened patiently at first, nodding along, but her expression gradually changed as her eyebrows raised slightly. The other co-hosts sensed something building, glancing nervously between Whoopi and Meghan. When Meghan finished her explanation about media bias, a tense silence stretched too long. Whoopi leaned forward, her voice measured but carrying an undercurrent of challenge. "Now hold on a minute, Meghan." The studio audience fell completely silent, and even camera operators leaned in, sensing something significant was coming. "I've been in this business a long time," Whoopi continued, her voice gaining strength. "I've seen how people control their narratives." Meghan's posture straightened, her media-trained smile growing forced as she replied, "I'm not sure what you're getting at, Whoopi." Whoopi fired back. "I think there's more to your story than you've been telling, and it's time someone asked the real questions." The tension became palpable as co-hosts exchanged worried glances, knowing Whoopi was going off script. Producers in the control room likely panicked, but this was live television, and there was no stopping what came next. Meghan tried to deflect with a hollow laugh, saying, "I've been open about my experiences." Whoopi shot back, "Let's start with the real reason you and Harry left England. Don't give me that rehearsed speech about privacy. Nobody who wants privacy does a Netflix deal and book tour." The challenge hung in the air like a duel. Meghan's facade cracked as her jaw tightened and her hands fidgeted with her wedding ring. "That's an unfair characterization," she replied, her voice rising. "We left because we weren't supported, and the media was unbearable. We had to support our family." Whoopi scoffed. "Support yourselves. You married into one of the wealthiest families. You had everything handed to you, then spent years complaining. Do you know how that sounds to people actually struggling?" The accusation hit Meghan like a physical blow. Her face flushed as she retorted defensively, "You don't know what it was like scrutinized. It's criticized, alone in a system designed to protect everyone except you." Whoopi fired back, "Oh, I do know. I was the only black woman in spaces where I wasn't wanted. The difference. I didn't have millions or a title to cushion the blow." The comparison stung, and Meghan's composure shattered further. Her eyes flashed with anger and hurt as her voice trembled. "You're minimizing my pain because of my circumstances. Pain is pain regardless of bank accounts. I fell in love, and my life was turned upside down." Whoopi leaned back, unwavering. "Nobody forced you to marry him. You knew what you were getting into. Instead of adapting, you burned it all down and played victim." The other co-hosts froze, unsure whether to intervene, while the audience sat in stunned silence witnessing history unfold. Meghan shot back, "Work within the system. The system that leaked stories, refused to protect my son from racism, made me so isolated I had suicidal thoughts." Whoopi cut in sharply. "Every time someone challenges you, you pull out the mental health card, use suicidal thoughts and racism as shields from criticism." The brutal accusation left the studio breathless. Meghan paled, whispering, "How dare you dismiss my pain?" Whoopi softened slightly but stood firm. "I'm not saying your pain wasn't real, but you can't use it to justify every decision or deflect legitimate questions." "What behavior?" Meghan demanded, her voice rising. "What are you accusing me of?" Whoopi replied steadily. You've destroyed relationships with family. Used the media to tell your side while others can't defend themselves, turned private matters into spectacles. Meghan stood abruptly, her chair scraping. This isn't an interview, it's an ambush. Whoopi retorted. Sit down. These are questions millions have. If you can't handle honesty, maybe you shouldn't do interviews. The studio buzzed with tension as cameras captured every micro-expression of this unprecedented clash. Meghan remained standing, trembling. You're attacking my character, marriage, and mental health. This isn't journalism, it's character assassination. Whoopi laughed mirthlessly. You've done interviews for years, trashing your in-laws, calling the institution racist, airing private family business. Now you play victim when asked to account for your actions. Meghan's voice cracked. I shared my truth to help others, Whoopi countered. There's truth, and then there's your version, painting you as innocent and everyone else as villains. That's selective storytelling. Meghan, tears flowing, retorted. You don't know what it was like, the only person of color in that family, feeling like an outsider daily, Whoopi shot back. I was the only black woman in spaces where I had to prove myself without a title or prince to protect me. The difference? I didn't spend my time complaining. I worked twice as hard and built my own success. Meghan's voice grew desperate. Because you suffered silently. I should too. I'm not allowed to speak out about racism, Whoopi clarified. I'm not saying don't speak out. Saying be honest, instead of turning every uncomfortable moment into a racial incident. Take responsibility for your role in conflicts. Meghan's composure fully shattered as she sobbed. I came for an honest conversation, and I'm being attacked. Whoopi remained unmoved. Those tears might work with others, but not me. I've been in this business too long to be manipulated, Meghan cried. I'm just trying to tell my story. Why is that wrong? Whoopi replied. It's not wrong to tell your story. What's wrong is telling only parts that make you look good, while omitting what might question your version. Meghan wiped her smeared makeup, asking, what parts am I leaving out? Whoopi listed. Staff who left over, how they were treated. Bullying reports, expecting special treatment while complaining, Meghan weakly protested. Those were lies planted to discredit me. Whoopi pressed, high standards don't equal cruelty. Spindustry grapevine says you burned through staff faster than anyone. The accusation hit hard. Meghan cried openly. You're getting info from gossip? You don't know the truth, Whoopi challenged. Then tell the truth. These stories are lies. Set the record straight now. Meghan looked around desperately. I don't have to justify myself. Those who worked with me know, Whoopi fired back. Convenient they're under NDAs or too afraid to speak. You get to tell your side while alleged victims stay silent. Meghan buried her face, sobbing. Why are you doing this? What did I do? Do you? Whoopi softened slightly. You didn't hurt me personally, but you hurt people without platforms to defend themselves. You used privilege to paint others as villains? Meghan whispered. I never called anyone villains, Whoopi said. You didn't have to. If your story made it clear who the bad guys were, named family, making racist comments, denying you help. You painted the institution as cruel. Meghan's voice broke. That's what happened. That's my truth. Whoopi shook her head. Truth isn't subjective. Either it happened as you said, or it didn't. You can't be both perfect victim and difficult person. The studio fell silent, except for Meghan's quiet crying. Finally, she admitted, I never said I was perfect. I made mistakes. I didn't deserve how I was treated, Whoopi conceded. Maybe you didn't deserve all of it, but you didn't deserve every wish granted either. You married into centuries of tradition and expected them to change for you, Meghan asked tearfully. Is it wrong to want basic dignity? For family to protect you? Whoopi replied. No, but it's not wrong for them to expect you to understand their constraints. The royals can't defend every member from every criticism. You knew that? Okay, Meghan said weakly. I didn't know how hard it'd be, how isolated I'd feel, how much I'd lose. Whoopi's expression softened further. I believe you didn't. No, I believe you struggled. But why burn everything down instead of working through challenges? The question lingered as Meghan considered it seriously, her crying slowing. Maybe I could have handled things differently, she whispered. It's a rare moment of reflection in the heated exchange. The raw emotion in the studio was undeniable. with millions watching two strong women clash over truth, privilege, and accountability. Whoopi's relentless questioning peeled back layers of Meghan's carefully constructed narrative, exposing vulnerabilities rarely seen in public. Meghan's tears and defensiveness revealed the pressure of maintaining her version of events under scrutiny. The confrontation became more than an interview, it was a cultural moment, sparking debates about race, mental health, and media manipulation. Whoopi's refusal to accept surface-level answers challenged audiences to think critically about celebrity narratives. Meghan's breakdown humanized her, but also raised questions about the consistency of her public statements. As the interview neared its end, the tension slightly eased, but the impact was irreversible. Viewers saw Meghan not as a polished PR creation, but as a flawed individual facing tough questions. Whoopi's approach, though harsh, underscored the importance of accountability, especially for those with platforms as large as Meghan's. The aftermath of the clash reverberated across social media, the supporters and critics of both women weighing in passionately. Some praised Whoopi for her bravery in challenging Meghan's narrative, while others accused her of bullying. Meghan's tearful moments sparked sympathy, but also skepticism about her ability to handle criticism. Ultimately, the interview highlighted the complexities of public perception and the dangers of one-sided storytelling. Whoopi's insistence on full transparency clashed with Meghan's desire to control her narrative, creating a televised moment that would be analyzed for years. Both women stood their ground, leaving audiences to decide where the truth really lay. The explosive confrontation ended with no clear winner. Only two women forever changed by the exchange. For Meghan, it was a rare public reckoning with the gaps in her story. For Whoopi, it was a testament to her commitment to tough journalism. And for viewers, it was a masterclass in the power of live, unfiltered dialogue where tears, anger, and truth collided under the bright lights of television.